All right. You want to introduce yourself, Danny?
Yeah, so hey guys, my name is Daniel Nzunza.
And
Ready?
my name's Edward. My name is Edward Delmore. I thought you were gonna say something a little more after that, but
Yeah, you're good.
hey,
You're good. You're
hey,
good.
hey guys, my name's Edward Delmore. Uh, Danny and I, we've known each other literally more than half our lives. We're both really into fitness. We've been wanting to do this for a while. Which is basically we figured, you know what, we're really passionate about food, fitness, but still having fun and balancing fitness in our day-to-day lives. And we figured, you know what, uh, at home or at work or in our travels, we come across a lot of people, and they're always interested in learning more about our fitness journey. And we figure, you know what, we're doing it anyway. We might as well just create content out of it and put it out there. And you we don't want to create content. Obviously, we want to separate ourselves from what's out there. I mean, nowadays it's the age of YouTube, it's the age of information. That that can actually be a bad thing too, because information overload. It's just so much out there that you don't know. You get inundated with the information. So what we want to do is we just want to keep it raw, like Danny and I were talking about earlier. We want it to be organic. It's like raw footage, hardly edited, because we don't want to show the highlight reels, right? We don't want to be like the typical Instagrammers, YouTubers, where all you see is their success, all you see is their what they want you to see. Essentially, we're going to show you that it's not pretty. It's a tough life. It's a tough journey because it requires a certain level of discipline. Because in the end, you know, hopefully we get you to follow along. But if you are following along, it's obviously for a reason, right? Something gave, and you made the decision one day to say, you know what, now's the time to do it. I'm going to do it. So that's why we're here. So you can see that even for us, we're normal people. We live normal lives. We'll introduce ourselves so you get to know us a little bit. That's what this first video is all about. But you'll see that it's basically two normal guys living individual, unique lives, human beings with real human problems and emotions and you know jobs. I mean, we're balancing in there. Just we're regular guys. That's the whole point. We're regular guys just trying to make it work and trying to inspire others and to show you that it is attainable. Uh, it's called No Excuse Fitness for a reason. It's because regardless of what you have going on in your lives, you know, a lot of us just try and make up excuses of why we can't get it done. I myself was very, very guilty of that. As you'll come to see, I'll show you some before pictures. I did it for the longest time until, like I said earlier, just now, something gave, and it got to the point where I said, enough is enough. Time to start doing. And fast forward to today, I wouldn't be the man that I am today if it weren't for very simple, uh, minuscule adjustments that I made. That little by little over time, those little adjustments ended up pushing in my trajectory of my life into a really good direction. So I feel like um, did I lose you, Danny? You still there?
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
I don't see. No,
No,
I didn't see you on the video, but I feel like that was Danny's way of saying, "Hey, I want to talk." So with that, I'll just
no, no, no. It's good. It's good. It's a good
what
starting,
do you
man.
got?
It's a good way to get things going because yeah, like it's like you said, it takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of work to get where we're at now. Even though like right now, like I don't think we're at our fullest potential of where we want to be. We still have work to do, and we've been doing it for a long time. So it's like one of those things where if you're consistent with everything that you're doing and you're working hard to you have your goals to set, um, as long as you're working towards them, you're pretty much it's on you. Like you can't force nobody can force you to do anything. Like it has to come from yourself. Like yeah, you can see YouTube videos, yeah, you can see different people working out, but it all comes down to what you want to do and what goals you have. Like Eddie said, we're normal people. We live normal lives, and as much as we want to make excuses or why we can't get into fitness, why we can't chase our goals, or we don't have enough time, we don't have, like, we're gonna both get into why we do what we do, and what our lives are like. um, there's so many excuses that we can give ourselves, but the main thing is, like, there shouldn't be any. There shouldn't be any excuses why you can't be healthy. There shouldn't be excuses of why you can't go to the gym. There shouldn't be an excuse of why, you know, like right now, like, if you're not doing anything and you want to get started, get started. That's, luckily me and Eddie got into our lives at a young age. We met in high school, and we've been friends ever since. We've been both through ups and downs, and we've made each other stronger for being there for each other, supporting each other, and, like, just train each other along. I've had multiple surgeries where I had to get out of, like, I had multiple things that I had to do. And over here, Eddie with hearts. But it's one of those things where like, we've been through so much, and it's been one of those things where we've always had each other's backs. And yeah, I mean, that's where I kind of, we want to get started. And if we want to start telling you about our lives, then we got to prove that, hey, we got into fitness and we have no excuse. So that's what we do. That's why we go to the gym. That's why we stay healthy. That's why we want to put our names out there so that people don't feel alone in thinking that they can't do it, because you can. But yeah, like, I don't know. Do you want to get started with your story, Eddie?
Yeah, I mean, like Danny was saying, we've known each other since high school. Just a little quick story there. When I first met this guy, it was guitar class freshman year, and he was sitting on the other side of the room, and I didn't like him. I didn't like him at all because I found it. Yeah, like, I mean, he was dressed like I was. I mean, I think we had the same Reebok shoes. We had, like, the same pants that we got from, like, Costco. It was like there's like these sweatpants, like, and then we had I don't know, there was just something, like, I saw this guy, and like, later on we ended up finding out that we have the same birthday. So then I really didn't like this guy, because I was like, who? I felt like he was like, I think we had the same watch on. I think it was the same Casio watch.
Yeah, same tape. It's like a Casio watch or something.
And I was like, who is this guy? He's like stealing my identity. I felt like I wasn't unique anymore. Like somebody was challenging my existence. like, and I was seeing it as a negative at first, but then, we I mean, not to sound corny or anything, or like some romantic comedy, but we'd be finishing each other's sentences, but actually, speaking of comedy, it was kind of like Step Brothers. We hated each other at first.
In a way, yeah.
And then we finished each other's sentences, and we looked at each other, and we're like, did we just become best friends? And we're like, yeah, I think we did. Exactly. And I mean, yeah, that was basically it. That's how we met. And from then on, we've been pushing each other and motivating each other to do better. And hopefully you don't think I was being rude earlier, but you said something that prompted me to get a Post-it and a pen, because you said something that you hit the nail on the head. You said we haven't reached our potential already, and I wanted to say that, what, that's exactly right, and I don't think we ever will. No, I don't think, as long as you're continually trying to motivate yourself and you're pushing yourself to do better, you will never reach your full potential. And that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing, because that means, you set a goal, and whether it takes you, a year or 2 years or a month or however long, you set a goal, but you get there. And there's no greater feeling in the world where, you saw this task that seemed insurmountable and impossible, yet you reached it. And it makes you wonder, well, if I was capable of doing that, what else am I capable of doing? You know,
True,
you could
for
equate
sure.
it to, you could equate it to, like, it's a journey. I mean, if you were to if you were to reach your potential, then that's it. Your journey's over, and it's like, okay, that's it. There's nothing else. So I don't think it's a bad thing when I say that you'll never reach your potential. In fact, it's a good thing, because it means you're constantly striving to do better, and you're always working on improving yourself, and that's what life is all about. Now,
Whether it's,
you,
what, like, I mean, sorry to interrupt, but whether it's for
okay,
strength, whether it's for knowledge, whether it's for, you're always, improving yourself. So yeah, I agree with you 100%.
yeah, and like I said, going back to what I was going about the high school, we met each other, and we met at like 15 years old. We still have the same birthday, by the way. So that means we're both still 34. Well, almost 34. We'll be,
Almost
34 coming up
34.
this
Yeah.
summer. I was about to say, hey, we're 34, and I'm like, oh no, wait, hold on, we're not there yet.
I heard, yeah, yeah,
um,
take it easy.
Almost there, this summer. But yeah, we'll be 34. We met at 15. We'll be 34. And from 15 years old up to this day, we're constantly motivating each other and pushing each other to do better, to keep reaching for that maximum potential. And going back to my story, we met in high school, and then after high school, I studied criminal justice at in the university, graduated, and went on to start working law enforcement. But in the time between where I was going to college and studying to become law enforcement, I mean, I knew I was always going to want to be in law enforcement ever since I saw the X-Files when I was like, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. I'd watch it with my sisters. I knew I wanted to be a law enforcement officer in whatever shape or form. And then, so I was always on that path. But there's that physical and mental aspect of it, because obviously, especially at, when you're first trying out, right, you have to pass physical fitness tests, you have to pass, very rigorous mental challenges. The whole point, I mean, Danny will tell you about it later, I mean, because he had to go to boot camp as well. When you're there, the whole point of the instructors, of the drill sergeants and the instructors, is to weed out those that don't belong, either those that are there for the wrong reasons, or those that not necessarily don't have what it takes, but maybe don't, at that moment in time, don't necessarily, don't have the exact amount of motivation that they need. Maybe they're not ready. Maybe they went at the wrong point of their lives, and that's okay, because like I said, life is a journey. So maybe at that point of their journey, they just weren't ready, and that's the whole point. They're trying to weed out those people. They're trying to harden the individuals that are left, because those that are left over, those are the ones you can focus on, because you have to develop them to succeed. You have to provide them the tools and resources they need in order to survive, whether it be law enforcement, military, and whatnot. So I wasn't there. I was 23 years old, and from 21 to 23, I mean, when we were in college, we were on the men's swim team together, and that was like my first introduction into like real hardcore fitness. And honestly, I didn't really want to go. Danny was the one who forced me to go. He's like, you know what? I'm bringing you with me. You're coming with me. And I'm like, I am? And he's like, yeah, you are. You're basically like, you dragged me from the gear. And he's like, you're coming with me. And I was like, okay. And I kind of just went along with it, because
First practice,
that's
he was drowning almost.
literally. I mean, that's how we were like a lot in high school. We'd be like, all right, we're doing this, and I'd follow your lead a lot. And when I set my mind on doing something, you're like, all right, I guess we're doing this. You follow my lead, and we were just just have each other's back. So in this case, Danny was the one. He played water polo in high school, and he's like, now I'm gonna do a competitive swimming. And he's like, yeah, all right, you're doing this with me. And I'm like, okay, I guess I am. And I literally just like flopped into the water and just started hitting. And it was hell week, and I was like drowning, drills going back and forth. I wanted to quit. I literally wanted to quit on day one. Like, not even day one, like 30 minutes into the workout, I wanted to get out of the pool. And Danny said something to me to this day I still use. and it's take it one step at a time, one task at a time. Because a lot of times when we set goals for ourselves, we think of the end. We think at the end of the road, and it's like, oh, it's so far away. It's like, oh, you can't even see the finish line. And like again, like I said earlier, it seems like an insurmountable task because it's just you can't even imagine yourself, lifting those weights or
so
or
far
running
away
that
that you
that
can't
quarter mile.
imagine.
Yeah, it's just impossible, right? Like you just can't see yourself, whatever it is, going up that mountain or finishing that lap, whatever it is. You just can't see yourself doing it. So and we're creatures of habit. We revert back to our comfort zone, what we know. And my comfort zone was Cheetos and couch and PlayStation. And I'd be playing Call of Duty or Battlefield on the computer. That was my comfort zone. So Danny took me out of that comfort zone, and you can't help but have this instinct to fight what you don't like. It's hurting. It's even though it's good for you, your body doesn't like it because it's not used to it. Your body's used to just being a couch potato. So Danny said something to me. He said, just make it to today. Just give me that, Eddie. If you can make it to today's workout, like just finish the end, then all right, you're off the hook. And little did I know that he was actually suckering me in to finish the whole week. So then I was like, all right, fine, so it helped me focus on, instead of looking at the end of the road, instead of looking at the finish line, it's like he forced me to not have my tunnel vision anymore. That as we say, break your tunnel vision, head on a swivel. That's what we say. Head on a swivel. It helped me go, okay, let me focus on this task that's in front of me, which was don't die. Well, all joking aside,
get across the pool.
Don't die, but make it to the end of the workout. And I did, and I don't know how I did it, but I mean, the human body is just amazing. Whether it's like your adrenaline takes over or your fight or flight responses, the human body can take a beating. Believe me, guys. I mean, you're capable of so much more than you realize. So I don't know how I did it, but I made it through the workout. And Danny said, he was like, I'm proud of you, and he gave me so much positive reinforcement that I liked it. And I was like, well, I want more of it. Somewhere in my brain, the neurotransmitters were going, yeah, give me more. Like I want more of that pat in the back, because I wasn't used to
I
it.
love that attaboy.
Yeah, that attaboy. Like I wasn't really like into sports when I was growing up. I didn't have coaches. I like literally I was like zero athletic at all, like at all. So the fact that I had, Danny was kind of like my unofficial coach, even though we had a coach for the team, and him giving me that hurrah. I was like, all right, well, I did it. Now what? And then, Danny, being the natural coach that he is, he said, all right, well, now make it through tomorrow. Now through the end of the week. All right, I'll make it, in 2 weeks. And then once you have passed Hell Week, and you see that, the more you challenge your body, the better it becomes at adapting at things, right? So, we'll talk about this more later on, but it's like resistance training, right? So you literally damage your body on purpose. You break down the muscle tissues, like say weightlifting, and the body, because it's trying to adapt and it doesn't want to get damaged again, it protects itself, and it grows and it rebuilds stronger, because they're like, all right, I'm ready for you now. And so that's when you have to like keep challenging it, keep attacking it. Never let your body get used to something, because that's how you keep growing. That's how you keep, trying to reach your potential. So during swimming, I got better and I got better and I got better. And that's what I noticed. I noticed because everything's timed. And I noticed that, if the first week, we do a 50, which is basically, a lap, there and back.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to do it in I can't remember how much time they would give us, maybe like 50 seconds or something. But, in the first week, I'd do it in 55 seconds. And then, on the third day, 50 seconds. And then that whole week, 50 seconds. So basically it meant every time I came back, I'd have to go again, which is why I felt like I was dying the whole time, because I had zero rest. But then like 2 weeks go by, and now all of a sudden I'm doing it like in 30 seconds. So I do a 50, I come back, and I'm like, oh, so this is what it's like to hang out on the wall and catch your breath. Yeah, okay, this is nice. You start having fun. Huh?
Before, like, so it was a minute. Usually they gave us like a minute 20 for the 50. For 25, yeah, 30 seconds is possible,
Yeah.
but 50 is like, it's kind of
Yeah.
not that it's not
Well, I
impressive,
mean,
but yeah, 30
no,
seconds.
I
30
can't
seconds
remember.
is really fast. It's
Hey,
it's like,
we're talking
yeah.
what, 10, 1, 2,
Oh,
14 years ago? Come on.
yeah, it's a long time. Yeah, it's a long time.
But yeah, so then I started noticing that, hey, I got better and better and better. And, and then I started noticing changes in my body, and I started, looking more slim. I could feel, like the fat around my stomach was melting. I could feel my stomach, like changing, and it's exciting and it's new, and it motivates you to keep going. And so there got a point where I was on the right track, but then, I derailed myself. And then, so from the time I finished that, which was like 1920 to 22 and a half, 23, around there, like I literally just let myself go. And I think at my peak, and by peak I mean like how big I got.
Heaviest, yeah.
To quote Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy, and be like, damn. I'd be like, hey, Danny. And if you hadn't seen me
he's a big boy.
College, yeah, if you hadn't seen me since college, and all of a sudden you see me again, you'd be like, damn. I got up to 285, 295, around 295 pounds. And I remember I'd wear baggy, loose clothing on purpose because I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed to have, like, wear t-shirts, because then you'd see, like, the quadruple skin folds on the side, on my sides. And I had man boobs, like not the good man boobs. I just I was 2XL or something like that. Like extra large. And then on size waist, I had just bought 38. So I think my breaking point, like, remember, guys, I was talking about earlier about you just reach a point where you're like, this is it, right? My breaking point was I was 22 years old. I was almost 300 pounds. I had just bought a size 38 pants, and like literally within 2 weeks of buying it, they were already tight. So I had reached the point where either you accept it and you're okay with it, and you say, all right, well, I guess I got to buy 40 now and go to triple XL or whatever, right? Or you say, you know what? If I want to reach my goals, and my goals was to, get into law enforcement, that's it. I can't keep doing this. Like, I'm not. I refuse to go to a size 40. And this might sound cheesy, but literally, you are in control of your own destiny. You decide your own fate, and it was in my hands. Like, nobody can do it for me. And Danny's told me, we had this conversation in the past before. And as much as Danny tried to, like, get me off the couch, and he'd invite me to the gym, and he'd invite me to go running, and to his credit, he was persistent. Like, I can't say that he never offered. It was all on me. I kept denying and giving him BS excuses of why I couldn't go, or like I'd literally make up stuff to him and be like, oh yeah, I gotta work early. They changed my shift, and then he hang up and I'm like, suck up. But Danny was, his offer was Danny. He'd be like, all right, well, my offer stands. I'll be here. And like I said, I appreciate you, bro. But it was me. It was me that was deciding, like, nah, I'd rather eat Carl's Jr. or whatever, right, and play Battlefield. But it came a point where I made the decision, and Danny, like I was saying earlier, as much as he tried to motivate me, when you're in that zone where you just decided that you don't want to do anything, you're not going to do anything, because it's all mental. Like I over the years I've been amazed to see just how much power the mind has. And guys, I can't say it enough. The mind has all the power. Like, you literally could have a broken arm, and if it comes down to protecting your family or not, your mind is gonna forget your arm is broken. It's gonna do stuff to get you to to get you where you need to go. I mean, the body isn't, like I tell you guys, the body is an amazing organism. And so yeah, to get back to the point, I made a decision to change. And who did I go to? I went to Danny. He's always been very knowledgeable. At one point he was considering getting into a career in physical fitness, a professional career, like go all the way, and like that's how committed he was. He was just so into fitness that I was lucky to have him, have a best friend like that. It was just so knowledgeable. So I basically said, Danny, all right, whatever you tell me to do, I'm gonna do it. Just have patience with me because I'm not physically fit. And to his credit, I thought he was gonna like day one, like have me, run a marathon and this and that, and no, I mean, he showed me that you don't have to jump onto a movie train on day one. It's one step at a time, one task at a time. So he broke it down for me and he said, hey, so, all right, you want to pass the physical fitness test, right? So first, you got to lose some weight. It's not going to be good running around with, excess weight on your joints, on your knees. It's just bad for your, once we start running, so the first thing I had to do was change my diet, which, we'll talk more about that later, but diet, guys, it's that cliche of abs are made in the kitchen. So, and it's very simple adjustments. I'm not going to lie to you. Like I said, this is the truth right here. I didn't do meal prepping, and like nowadays you see like these meal services, and you see like these containers of. I didn't do any of that. The simple adjustment that I made was, all right.
No soda.
Yes, well, no soda. So this is my typical meal, guys. I worked at Chase Bank, and I don't know if you've ever noticed. I think it's some sort of a conspiracy, but if you've noticed, anywhere there's a Chase Bank, there's always a Carl's Jr. like right across from it. I don't know why. At least here in Southern California.
They did it on purpose.
Yeah. So I'd go walk into Carl's Jr. and I get the Big Carl or the Superstar with cheese, the fries or onion rings. I get a large soda, and then I get a Monster. Not even like the Monsters they have nowadays, which is like 0 calorie. It's like the real like full green Monster, and I'd mix the Monster and the soda in the same container. This is not healthy. I'm amazed I didn't like die of a heart attack or coronary disease or something. But I was eating that every day, and I said, all right, well, you know what? I never made my meals when I went to work. I never took any food to work. I had breakfast at home, which was actually pretty healthy. It was just like an egg McMuffin, a muffin with eggs and like a fruit shake. So I would start off well, but then obviously my lunch and dinner were crazy. So then I said I'm gonna go to Subway. Yeah, I instead of Carl's Jr. Subway. I'm still eating fast food. But I would get those sandwiches that were 6 grams of fat or less. So I'd get like the chicken or whatever, right? And then I said, you know what? I'm gonna commit to not eating out as much. Not eating junk food. I'm gonna eat home food. So my mom, whatever my mom would make, I would eat, even if it's something that I wasn't used to because I was just used to like ordering pizza or whatever. I started eating my mom's food, and then I did that for about 3 or 4 months, and I dropped 40 pounds. Just on that alone. No soda, no more Monsters. I was having like actual tea with my Subway and water, and then breakfast were the same, and then for dinner I just started eating home cooked meals, which is wholesome food. So in 3 or 4 months I dropped like 40 pounds, and by then we were in the summer, and then I went to Danny. I said, all right, so step 1 complete. I dropped some weight. I have a physical fitness test in like 3 months coming up. Can you get me prepared? He broke it down. I had to do push-ups, sit-ups. I had to run a 1.5 miles. I had to do a 220-meter sprint. So he said, let's work on your run. And again, I thought he was gonna, make me barf and try and run the whole 5 miles in one day. And he broke it down. He said something as simple as, all right, today the one and only goal for today, I want you to get to that corner over there. And I'm like, that corner over there? I'm like, come on, man. He's like, no, that's it. Just get to the corner. We're done for the day. And he's like, but I want you to run it as fast as you can. Like, I'm gonna know if you're sandbagging me, which means if you're holding back. He's like, that's the deal. You give me 100%, but it's only to that corner. And I'm like, I got this, And I start running as hard as I can, and literally I took like 20 steps, and I'm like, And then that even seemed like an impossible task, but then I did that for like 2 or 3 days until, hey, I made it to the corner. And you think it's over, but then Danny's like, all right, now we're gonna go to now make it to the other corner, and I'm like, damn it. But
I did it.
guess again. No, and basically that was the whole strategy until, all right, now we're gonna run the whole mile without stopping. Now we're gonna do a mile and a quarter. Now we're gonna do a mile and a half. And once I was able to do a mile and a half without stopping, it's like, now that you can do a mile and a half, now let's work on your times, bringing your times down. Now let's get faster and faster and faster. And that was the whole strategy. And he basically, trained me and got me through it. And in those other 3 months, I probably dropped like another 20, 30 pounds. So by now, guys, I'm already down 60 pounds. I went from like 290, now I'm at 230. I remember now I was at like 235, 230 around there. And then, I don't know. I feel like my story is taking way too long.
No, I mean, it's like it's making me remember things like how you were saying about your training and stuff like that, and I mean, it's gonna take long, guys. It's a process, It's not just gonna be from one day to another. You can run a mile and a half. It's gonna be consistency. It's gonna be putting in the work. Like my biggest thing is, if you put in the work, you're gonna see the results. Like Eddie was determined to, get that PT test done. So I wasn't going to give him a task that was going to be impossible when he first started, So I broke it down. The first one was like, do a 400 meters. That's all you need. As fast as you can, slow pace, whatever. Just make it there, and then if you can do more, then we'll do more. But I never pushed him to a point where like the task was impossible for his potential at the time. So I incorporated push-ups, sit-ups, squats. Eventually it just started being easy for him, to a point where like he started surpassing me. So like it's like one of those things now. Like I'm keeping up with him, So yeah, it's one of those things where I mean, if you don't mind, Eddie, I'll start telling a little bit about my story and how I grew up until that point of where you're at right now, or
yeah, and
where you ended up.
Yeah, and it'll make sense because they'll see why you were able to get me through all that stuff.
So my story is, I started in high school. Like, well, even before high school, I've always been a very athletic person. My parents put me into soccer, basketball, baseball, you name it. Like I was playing it. I was not very good at one sport, or like super good at one sport, but I was decent at most. So in high school, I was playing soccer and eventually came across water polo. Water polo was a very rigorous sport. Like when I first started, I was wearing board shorts, and I started swimming, and it was tough. I was not good at it, but I worked at it. I worked at it really hard, and I played in high school. I only played my junior and senior year, and so in those 2 years, the first year was just learning the game, and if I can score, I get scored, like whatever. But the second year, it was more like, okay, let's be the best in the team. And during that, like the first 3 months of working as hard as I could, I became the best in the team. Not saying that if I can do it, then anybody can, but you can. Like a lot of people think that some goals are very unobtainable, and it's not true. Like if you set your mind to it and you do the preparation for it, I don't see why you can't do it. Like if you're preparing for it for a long time, it's one of those things where it'll come, as long as you're putting the work. Like you put the work. There's a CrossFitter. His name's Matt Frazier. He was, he had the title of fittest man on earth for 5 years, I think. And his thing now, like he has a brand, is hard work pays off. And I believe that so much. Like the guy is a beast, and even now he's still like promoting his brand. I mean, he's still putting in the work, even though he's retired now. At 28, he's retired. What kind of thing is that? It's crazy. But he put in the work and he got where he wanted to be, and now he's well known in the CrossFit community. So anyway, I digress. Coming back to me, after high school, I played water polo again and went into swimming. And I brought Eddie along. I remember telling him, I remember the very day that I brought him to the pool, it's like, hey man, just get in the pool and start swimming. You know, it's hell week. So if you don't get past today, it's fine. Like, I mean, just try to make it through today and it'll be great. He made it through like just fine. And you know, like again, I joined the military. I joined the Coast Guard. A lot of people aren't going to think that the Coast Guard is the military, but I think it's the military. So Eddie said what Eddie said was right. Like, you know,
Hey, there's always the Air Force you can pick on. Sorry, guys.
That's true. That's true. But anyway, I mean, during boot camp, Eddie was right. Like any boot camp that you go to, the drill sergeant or your cadre or whoever is going to be, you know, your company commander, whoever's leading your squad, they are going to try to break you. They're going to try to bring you down and build you back up. So if you don't know anything, then they don't really have anything to break you down from. So all you can do is build up. But it's like being that, you know, I was already fit and I had that athletic background with coaches that were worse than the drill instructors. I mean, I took it and it was fine. Then after that, you know, I still kept my fitness and I've always been really consistent. I mean, there have been times where, yeah, I let off and everything like that. But at the same time, I've always found a comfort zone at the gym. Like it's my zen, you know, it's what I do to de-stress. It's what I do to find comfort, to like de-stress out of a rough day, a rough, you know, couple days or whatever, you know, I have to deal with it. It always helped me. When Eddie came to me about him wanting to go into law enforcement and had a PT test coming up, I told him, hey man, you know, like I'll do it, but I need a commitment from you. Like I can't, if you're gonna be eating, you know, Carl's Jr. pizza every night, then there's no point to it. You know, if you're not gonna be committed to it, if you're not gonna be consistent with your workouts, if you're not gonna do this for your own self, then there's no point for me doing it. And he told me, yeah, I'm committed and I want to do it. So whatever you say, I'll do. And don't get me wrong, guys, like he sometimes wanted to quit. He sometimes wanted to quit and he would stop. But the more like he saw his goals getting closer and making progress, the more he committed and the more drive he had, you know. So
Which I never knew that I had inside me.
He never quit. He never quit. Like he always said, I can't, man. I can't, man. And I'm like, yes, you can. Like, just get there. Just get there. You can do it. Just move your legs. It doesn't have to be super fast. Just move the legs, and that's it. And you know, one step at a time, one section at a time. And once he got past that, he reached a different goal that day. So, I mean, it was never the point to like push him past his own limit. So, because that would just discourage. So, the point of this program or the point of this channel is to not discourage you, is to help you and give you little pushes here and there so that you can see that goals are obtainable. You know, you can succeed in this fitness world. You know, if you want to lose the weight, cool. Like let's get you there. Like, hey, let's talk about nutrition. Hey, let's talk about we'll talk about it later, but let's talk about what kind of workouts you want to do. Let's talk about, hey, you want to do CrossFit. Hey, you want to do bodybuilding. Hey, we're all about all the kinds of fitness. We're not just concentrating on one. You know, if you want to try something, let us know. Like, I mean, that's one of those things. Like, we're gonna be very open to our followers and see what they want from us. We're gonna throw out some content, maybe do some workouts, try some programs, and whatever works will be great. You know, like this is all about showing what we do.
Sorry to cut you off, Denny, but I think that was perfect. You know, I just wanted to say there that and if you guys have any, you know, the more obviously the more participation, you know, we have, the better, and the more we can provide for you guys, because you know we're here to react to you guys. So if you guys are, you know, like you said it earlier, you know, like Danny and I, we were there for each other. We pushed each other to grow as individuals, to grow as in the fitness world. with our own fitness goals, our personal fitness goals, and now we want to be there for you guys, because a lot of people, they don't have what we had, right? They don't have that person that can just be real with them and help them out. And like you were saying earlier, like, when they want to go, no, this is too painful, or no, like, I don't want to get up and work out. Like, no, my whole body is sore. Like, no. A lot of people don't have that. Like, yes, you can. Well, like, yes, you can do it. So, that's like you were saying, we that's why we want to provide this content is to be that voice, to be that motivation, to be that yes, you can for other people. So obviously, if we're seeing from the comments, the more you guys can be interactive, the better, because then we can, base our content off of that. We do want to try programs. If you guys are in, curious about something, like, hey, I've been trying this, workout or this program, but I feel like it's not working. What do you guys think? Maybe we can incorporate it into the content. And I just wanted to throw that in there. So, sorry to cut you off. I hope I didn't.
No, that's perfect. That's exactly what we want to do. Is it's just provide the content and have different things that we can teach. Not just one thing. We don't want to provide just bodybuilding. We don't want to just provide CrossFit. We don't just want to provide Olympic weightlifting. We want to do a little bit of everything, like not just, we want to try different programs, see how they work on us. Or yeah, if you guys want to tell us what works for you, like we could try it out as well. Different nutrition habits. I know there's like keto, there's the 40-40-20, there's so many. I don't know. I mean, we can try even vegan food, like all of that stuff is it's up for grabs. And if it works for us, cool. But if, it might work for you guys. So if we can provide that content, then yeah, that's something that we're willing to do. But yeah, man, that's a start of who we are and where we're coming from. And, we can just build on that.
Yeah. And not to get too philosophical on you, but you were talking about earlier about the, when you went into the Coast Guard and, the cadre, they were there to, to break you down. I really like that piece that you were talking about, because in my head, when you were saying that, the very first thing that popped into my head was that you could, that's almost like synonymous and, with real life, you're going through life and there's cadre all around you, whether it's a jealous coworker or, it's somebody that's, out, jealous of your successes and, they're trying to sabotage you in your personal life, at work, or, or you're just having a crappy day, like it could be something as there's cadre everywhere. That's as simple as a spare tire, or, spare tire, as, flat tire,
Flat
and then you fix
tire.
it, and then you get to work, and then
A dead battery.
Yeah, you get to work and you find out your battery's dead, and now your whole plans are ruined, and then you pivot, you adjust, and then later on that night something happens, and you're just like, could this get any worse? I mean, those are the cadres. There's going to be so much things coming at you that, let's be honest, it's challenging, and because we say, what, it's very easy to just say, what, throw your hands up in the air and saying, I give up, I give up on my dreams, or I give up on my goals because I just got too much going on with my life. And to kind of get back on track of like who we are, like I know for me, I've come a long way, because, I'm not 19 anymore. I'm out on the men's swim team. We're almost 34 years old. I have a almost 4-year-old daughter. I have a son on the way, maybe within the next 2 or 3 weeks. I work a full-time job in law enforcement. It's shift work. So, a lot of times, you have to cover a different shift, and a lot of times it's unexpected, and it's forced overtime. So you think you're going to get out at work at, your scheduled hour, and you're planning on having you have your whole day plan, and, you have your workout in there somewhere, and then all of a sudden, like that, plans change, things change, and you have to adjust, you have to adapt. You may, it may even be like over a long term, maybe like a 3-month thing where you have something going on for 3 months and it completely interrupted your routine, and you just have to readjust. You're like, well, when am I going to work out now? Because now I have this and I have that. And it's very easy to just say, oh, you know what? I guess I'm just not going to work out for the next 3 months because I got too much going on. And what we're all about, what we want to. The whole point is to say that, like, no, there's always time for something as simple as, take 20 minutes out of your day, and you're driving somewhere, you got 20 minutes to kill, and pull off to the side and do a 20-minute hit routine, which means high intensity interval training. Do a Tabata, every minute on the minute sort of thing. Do something as simple as in 20 minutes
going for a run.
Going for a run.
Something as simple as that. Going for a run, going for a walk. Something as simple as that. Even if you're starting. So
exactly.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah.
No. I mean, it's just like, you hit the nail on the head. Anything. I mean, you can literally just like pop anything in your head and saying, at least I can do this. It's not my usual workout plan. Yeah, it'd be nice if your life wasn't interrupted, or your plans were screwed, and you could do your 1 hour workout or your 2 hour or whatever it is that you love to do. It could be hiking, it could be weightlifting, it could be running. It'd be nice if you could do the thing that you love to do. But a lot of times it's like, hey, you know what? That's life, and that's okay as long as you do something. Like don't become a victim of your misfortunes. And like I said, I was very guilty of that for so many years. And after a while, it dominates you. It dominates your life, because then it starts seeping into your other sections of your life. It starts with fitness, then it becomes work, then it becomes your home life, then it becomes your chores, and whatever it is, right? You start adopting a negative mindset, and it's very easy to let it overcome you. It's a whole lot more easy and less challenging to be a negative person. It's the easiest thing in the world. You could be, the best negative person because it's easy. It's not easy to be a positive person, because you have to keep telling yourself over and over, like, oh, no, man, like, let me just do this, or like, oh man, there's a mental aspect to it where it takes work. And, like you said earlier, in the video, it's not overnight that you can run a mile and a half, right? It takes time, it takes consistency, it takes hard work and dedication. So we're not going to lie to you. We're not going to say, we're not going to be like those YouTubers or Instagrammers that tell you how to form a 6-pack in 30 minutes, and for 5 minutes, whatever. Whatever. I mean, like, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
no, and there's a lot of them out there, and like to piggyback what Eddie said, like we live, full lives. Like I work and I go to school full time. So I wake up, well, let's just say I go to work at 6 a.m. I get off of work at 2:30, go to school at 3:30, don't get off till 9:20, and that's Monday through Friday. So I don't have kids, not yet, but Eddie, has a full-time job, is a full-time dad, and
hey, you got Odin.
Hey, yeah, I have my dog, like my dog Odin, and he's
you got a big husky, nice, and they're a handful.
Yeah, and I have, my girlfriend takes care of him and everything, so like she's really great. But we, like my workout schedule is in the mornings. I work out from 4 to 5 in the morning. So it's one of those things where, like, you got to find the time.
Tell them what you were doing before, and then what you decided to do to better your life. And obviously that screwed up your fitness routine. So what are you having to do? Because you still want to keep working out, but what do you have to do?
So my professional, my profession is, I'm an avionics technician, and I work for a tanker plane that fights fires. And for me to better my profession and move ahead in my profession, I needed to go to school and get my A&P license. So that's why my schedule changed. I was working just a normal shift from 6 to 4:30. And I was working out right after work, but trying to better myself and try to better my career to gain more money and live in this house. It's it's one of those things where you got to make sacrifices, and my sacrifice was not necessarily give up the gym or give up my workout routine, but adjust. I'm adjusting to a new schedule, and I'm kind of sacrificing sleep, but it's all right. I like to be fit, so it's one of those things where, I mean, it's worth it for me. And, it's better for it's just I need that. It's my out. It's my de-stressor. And if I wasn't working out, I'd be a mess. I'd, have a lot of stress that I couldn't have an outlet to. So it's one of those things where I enjoy what I do. um, and I'm gonna keep doing it. And then it's the same thing for Eddie. Like, he loves what he does too, and he loves his family, and I love my family as well. And everything that we do is worth it for ourselves, our health, and our benefit for each other.
And then to sum it up, basically, another reason why you don't want to, it just popped in my head. Another reason why you don't want to procrastinate and leave today's workout for tomorrow is because you don't know what tomorrow might be a crappy day, and all hell will break loose, and you can't do tomorrow, but you don't know that, right? Because I mean, if we could see the future, that'd be nice. But um so even if you're not feeling it, you're like, and by not feeling I mean, like, you're being lazy, and you're like, I'd rather just rest. I could always work out tomorrow. Let me just focus on resting today. And again, going back to, your bodies will adapt. They will overcome. As long as you don't have broken bones, and you're not sick and throwing up, and yeah, you could be sore completely, and you feel like you got run over by a bus because you're just that sore. And yeah, you're tempted to just say, you know what, I'm going to listen to my body, and rest today, and I'll go tomorrow. Tomorrow you might not be able to. So I've learned this. Being a parent myself, I've learned to say, you know what, I'm not gonna like have a crappy workout and say, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, half-ass it, but I'm gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna do what I can. I'm still gonna give it 100% with what I'm doing, but it may not, I'm gonna make it as much as I can make it, right? I'm gonna give it 100%, and if my 100% is maybe I wasn't able to do the fourth set, I only did three. Maybe I wasn't able to hit the 10 reps. The previous week, I did 12 reps with that same weight, and this week I can't even hit eight. That's okay because I'm giving it 100% because our bodies, are going through constant change. It might be your water levels, your sleep, your stress, your neurochemicals in the brain are affected because maybe this and that and so forth, right? So maybe we missed a meal, and one meal just completely threw us all off. And you know sometimes we can only hit 8 reps. Sometimes we hit 12 reps or more. Sometimes we PR. It's
Yeah.
it's you're not gonna know unless you do the workout. But basically, to sum it up, don't leave for tomorrow what you could do today because you don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring. Especially being a busy parent, I try and get my workout in there. A lot of times, maybe the next day, I had to stay for work, or plans change, or maybe all of a sudden something happened, and I gotta take extra care of my daughter. And it's just one of those things that, like, you know life will get in the way, and that's fine. But the more consistency that you develop over time, and the more of those workouts you get in there, so when those times you come across where, like, man, I tried but I couldn't get today's workout, that's okay because it's a numbers game, right? In the long haul, you're doing you're going more than not going, right? You're being more positive than negative. So it's I mean, that's basically, to sum up. Chaos is going to happen whether we want it or not.
Yeah, like he was
Newton's
saying,
law.
like, we're not here to be like, oh, you didn't go to the gym today, oh, you suck. No, it's not like that. There's gonna be days where you can't. I mean, life happens. Like, I had a very interesting day the other day. Like, my battery died, and I had to take care of my car. So it's just one of those things where, like, I wanted to go to the gym, and I was about to go to the gym, turn on my car, and it didn't start. So I had to fix my car before I can go anywhere. So, I mean, and I needed it because I needed to go to school. So it's one of those things where life is going to happen if you can't make it to the gym that one day, or whatnot, for whatever whatever have happened that day. Doesn't mean that that's an excuse, but life is going to happen. What we were saying is that there's no excuse for staying in that path to be healthy, staying in that path to create a better health for yourself. Like, you know, it's just one of those things where if you, like Eddie said, it's very easy to be complacent and very easy to just say, you know what, maybe today I'm going to be lazy, like it's very easy to do that. But once you start doing it more of a routine where you become lazy more and more each and every day, then it can go into other parts of your life. It can go into other parts like, oh, I don't want to go to work today. Oh, I don't want to do this today. It's just, it can't, because it's very easy. But this routine, it's a way of life. It's like something that, you enjoy doing. I know not everybody enjoys the workout aspect of it or sweating or, like putting in the work, but it's healthy for you, so that's why you do it. I enjoy it. I love it. I love every aspect of it. But it's one of those things where when you're consistent, you'll see results. Eventually you'll see the results as they come. You put 2 months in, you'll see the results for 2 months. So,
and I can personally attest to this because I went from 290, 295, and then when I graduated the academy, I was at 195. So it took about a year. It was like a little over a year from the moment from when I started to say, hey, you know what, I'm just not gonna eat junk food anymore, or I'm not gonna drink soda, like that. Just making that one decision to I graduated the academy. I think like 14 or 15 months have gone by, and it was 100 pounds that I had lost.
oh, look who it is.
She was curious to see like
what's going on
what do you have
here?
going what do you have going on over here?
All right, I think that's a good way to end this guy. So, I mean, yeah,
guys,
we're
hopefully,
oh,
you know, as we start making more content, obviously, it'll who we are will be unfolding more and more. But we really wanted to like just sit down and just tell you guys what we're about, who we are, and hopefully, we can cultivate trust, because it takes a certain amount of trust to listen to what other person has and says, okay, I'm gonna listen to you, or I'm gonna take into account what you're saying to influence my life. That's a lot of trust that you have to have in someone. So that's why we want to be real. We want to show you who we are, and hopefully you follow along and trust us with time. Because that takes time to build. But this is probably going to be one of our longest videos, but I think it's good because we're just basically laying it all out there. I don't know if you have anything to piggyback on, Denny.
I agree. It's just one of those things where we're going to start making more content, and yeah, this is going to be our get to know us video kind of a thing. So what we're all about and what we want to get across. So yeah, if you like the content that we start providing, then please follow along. On Instagram, we have an Instagram NoExcuse_12. Please follow along. We'll start providing content on there as well. And yeah, just we look forward to hearing from you guys and seeing the outcomes.
And bear with us. I'm gonna say, just now, I'm just gonna lay it out there. Bear with us because we're learning as we go. And right now, as you were doing the outro, I'm thinking, all right, well, hopefully I can find a way to, like, when he said NoExcuse_12, maybe I can somehow flash it on the screen or
Yeah,
I'm already panicking, going like, how do we do the editing? Like, we don't know how to edit it.
So yeah,
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out eventually, and we'll get better as we go too. So yeah. It's not easy being in front of the camera.
Just be patient.
Bear with us, yeah.
It's going to look very high school amateur, PowerPoint presentation kind of thing, back to the 90s kind of thing. But, but it'll get better with time, because harking back to what we were saying earlier, you work hard at something, you have passion in something, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be fitness, but it'll show, and it'll allow you and enable you to cultivate that skill or to get better at whatever you're trying to get better. So on that note, thank you guys for taking the time to at least click and listen to us. So anyone else you want to say, Danny?
That's it, man. That's it. It's all. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Hopefully, so once again, check out NoExcuse_12 on Instagram. Check out some of the initial content we've already put out, and like it if you can, comment if you want. All right, guys. Till next time.
Till next time.